Please welcome to the stage Representative Raja Krishnamoorthi, Ranking Member of the House Select Committee on China.
Good morning. I was given a speech to read, or I was thinking I would give you some off-the-cuff candid remarks. Which one would you like, the speech or off-the-cuff candid remarks? Clap if you want off-the-cuff. Okay, let's go off the cuff. First of all, thank you so much for coming today. I'm honored to be here. I'm sorry I might be a minute or two late because I went to the drone competition. At first I thought that was just another session of Congress. Sorry for that dad joke there. Look, I was first prepared to talk to you in depth about export controls and playing defense with regard to the issue of artificial intelligence. But I think most of you probably are aware that on a bipartisan basis, different export controls have been put in place. And I think that probably in principle, a lot of you agree with this. But I want to talk about something else, which is going on offense. We can't just play defense with regard to artificial intelligence. That means we can't be in the business of just trying to slow down competitors. We need to be able to excel, dominate the space with our values, make sure that wealth and prosperity that's generated from AI happens in the United States. Are you with me on that? So there are three things I just want to talk to you about very briefly, off the cuff. First of all, you know this and I know this, but a lot of people don't know that immigrants and international students are vital, are absolutely vital for innovation in the AI space. One person's clapping. 70%, I mean, it's really remarkable. 70% of all AI-related graduates in the AI degree-related graduates in the United States are international students. Almost 60% of all PhDs awarded in AI are to international students. So think of what we are doing when we send a message to those people as well as others that we are going to revoke international student visas. Think of the message that we send when we make our legal immigration system so difficult to navigate that we have 1 million people in queue to matriculate from an H-1B technical visa to a green card. I think it's lunacy. This is exactly what our adversaries would be cheering, and we can't go down that road. We have to make sure that we reform our legal immigration system to attract the best and the brightest from around the world to come to the United States, to innovate, to study, to be part of this beautiful ecosystem that you guys have formed to make sure that America leads in artificial intelligence technology. So that's the first point I want to make, and I hope all of you, as you leave today, carry this message with you to all of your elected officials, whoever they are. Second point, we've got to invest in ourselves in fundamental research in this country. Right now, we spend 0.7% of our GDP on national foundational research and development at the federal level. That's down for about 2% in the Apollo era. In the meantime, the Chinese Communist Party has said that they're going to devote $1.35 trillion by 2035 in AI alone. This is where we're going to lose the lead. So we have to do what it takes to invest in ourselves, invest in foundational research. A lot of you run companies, a lot of you are entrepreneurs, but a lot of you are commercializing ideas that came out of a lab at a university. How many of you are connected to universities of any kind? A significant percentage. I mean, these universities, these national labs, the recipients of the foundational R&D research grants that are coming out of NSF, for instance, or other agencies are key to this ecosystem flourishing. So, for instance, we should be investing in the NIR, N-A-I-R-R, NIR project, which would basically invest in our national artificial intelligence infrastructure. We should be investing in ways that more people have access to more compute, because not everyone does, and it's extremely expensive to try to mimic what Meta or Google or Amazon or any of the other incumbents have. And we want to create competition. Third and final point on this, I want you to also think about how do we upskill our national workforce to take jobs that are in the AI industry or AI adjacent. Right now, our community colleges and various other institutions of higher learning have dollars that are funneled to them by the federal government for the purposes of skills-based and career technical education. However, there aren't enough offerings with regard to AI. There just aren't. And so you see offerings with regard to the trades, with regard to technical school, with regard to healthcare, but not enough in AI. And I hope that you will consider partnering with your local community college or non-four-year track institutions of higher or post-secondary learning to formulate those tracks. I'll just tell you that 60% of Americans do not have a four-year college degree even today. Despite the trillions that we've spent on trying to encourage people to go to college, 60% do not. So if we want those 60% to participate in this ecosystem, we need to figure out a way to involve them now. If we don't, not only will they not benefit from the wealth and prosperity that you folks are generating, and which will enable them to rise into the middle class, they will become resentful. I know that many of my constituents are already fearful of AI. And so we can't go this route. Let me close with this. Look, we talk a lot about the CCP, and that's what my committee is focused on. We call it the House Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the U.S. and the Chinese Communist Party. It's about as long as my name. I feel very much at home on this committee. But the fact of the matter is, other countries, whether it's the CCP or otherwise, are going to devote tremendous resources, brain share, and make it a priority to dominate the space and lead the world. And we can't let that happen. It's not necessarily about denying anyone else the wealth and prosperity that comes out of this space, but it's also about the values that define it. I'll just give you an example, and I'll close with this. I did a video showing DeepSeek on one side and then ChatGPT on another side, and asked them the same questions and asked the large language models to deliver an answer to the same questions. So I asked, as an example, ChatGPT, what happened in Tiananmen Square in 1989? And it went on for pages telling me exactly what happened. It also provided the sources for that data. It was rather transparent, and it gave me a good description of what happened. I asked the same question of DeepSeek, and the answer was, let's talk about something else. So on one hand, we have the free flow of knowledge and some transparency. And on the other hand, we have a censorship model, which basically means that people are not going to be able to benefit fully from the innovation of AI, that it will be used in certain ways, and those ways may or may not be consistent with our values. So we might have a system where if we don't lead this race, if we don't do what it takes to make sure that our values, our ethics, our ethos are embedded within these models, well, we're going to have something that looks like what we see in DeepSeek or other models that is very inconsistent with how we want it to be. And to me, it's not artificial intelligence, that's natural stupidity. We cannot go down that path. Are you with me? We can't go down this path. So I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, independent. I don't care if you're a partisan or you don't even participate actively in politics. I want you to lift your voice. I want you to lift your voice and be heard on this stuff. And make sure that your elected officials, regulators, others who have some influence know from you what kind of a artificial intelligence landscape you want, because that's what's ultimately the one that we have. So thank you so much. God bless. Thank you.